Have you ever found yourself wondering, why isn't she as captivated by me as I am by her? You've tried everything: grand gestures, constant attention, even becoming her emotional rock, but nothing seems to ignite that spark. Does sound familiar? If so, let me assure you, you're not alone. Most men fall into the trap of chasing, pleading, or overly investing in someone who hasn't yet earned that level of attention. Here's the harsh truth: the more you chase, the further she'll drift away. But what if I told you there's a better way? A way to flip the script entirely. Imagine being the man she can't stop thinking about, the one who stands out in her mind as irresistibly magnetic. No games, no manipulation, just a profound shift in how you carry yourself and what you project. This isn't about tricking her into liking you. It's about becoming a man who naturally commands respect, admiration, and love. In this video, we're diving deep into the art of attraction through the lens of Stoicism. Yes, that ancient philosophy that champions self-mastery and emotional resilience holds the keys to unlocking irresistible charm. By embracing these principles, you'll not only transform how women perceive you, but also elevate every area of your life. So what's holding you back? Are you ready to learn the 7 acts that will make her fall madly in love with you? Stick around, because what you're about to discover might just change the game forever. 1. Cultivate emotional independence. Let's start with a question. How often do your emotions depend on someone else's actions? Be honest. Do you find yourself elated when she texts you back, but crushed when she doesn't? If so, you're not alone. Emotional dependence is one of the most common pitfalls in modern relationships. But here's the thing. It's also one of the most unattractive qualities a man can possess. Why? Because it signals a lack of control. The women are naturally drawn to men who exhibit emotional stability. Picture a ship navigating through stormy waters. Do you think she'll feel safe and secure if the captain is panicking with every wave? Of course not. The same principle applies in relationships. A man who remains calm and composed, regardless of external circumstances, exudes confidence and strength. So how do you achieve this emotional independence? It begins with understanding that your happiness, your peace of mind, and your self-worth are yours to cultivate. You don't need external validation to feel complete. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If you allow your emotions to be dictated by how others treat you, you're handing over control of your inner world. Take a moment to reflect. Have you ever let someone's mood or behavior ruin your day? Maybe she didn't respond to your message and suddenly you're spiraling into self-doubt. It's time to break that cycle. Emotional independence doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop letting external events dictate your inner peace. Now let's make this practical. Start by identifying your emotional triggers. What specific actions or words from her make you feel vulnerable or insecure? Once you pinpoint them, take a step back and ask yourself, why does this affect me so deeply? Is it truly about her? Or is it a reflection of my own insecurities? This self-awareness is the first step toward emotional mastery. Another powerful tool is meditation or journaling. These practices allow you to process your emotions in a healthy way without relying on others for validation. Over time, you'll notice a shift. You'll become more grounded, more self-assured, and less reactive. And here's the beautiful irony. The less you depend on her for emotional stability, the more she'll be drawn to you. Women respect men who are in control of their emotions because it shows strength and maturity. But think of it like this. When you're emotionally independent, you're no longer chasing love. Instead, you're creating a space where love can flourish naturally. She'll feel drawn to your calm energy, your unshakable confidence, and your ability to remain composed even in the face of uncertainty. This is the essence of Stoicism applied to modern relationships. Are you ready to take control of your emotional world? To become the rock she can rely on without ever losing yourself? If so, you're already on the path to becoming a high-value man. And trust me, she'll notice. 2. Don't give your attention away freely. Let's cut straight to it. Are you handing out your attention like it's candy on Halloween? If so, you're not just devaluing your time, you're devaluing yourself. In today's world, where notifications buzz every few seconds and everyone's fighting for a slice of your focus, attention is the most precious currency you have. And guess what? Women instinctively know this. When you give your attention away too easily, it sends a clear message. My time isn't valuable, and neither am I. Here's a truth bomb. Attention that's too readily available loses its worth. Think about it. Who's more captivating, the man who seems endlessly available, responding to every text within seconds, or the man who's so engrossed in his purpose that his time feels like a rare treasure? It's the latter every single time. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how people treat things they know are limited? Imagine you've got a concert ticket to see your favorite band. You treasure it, right? Now compare that to a movie you can stream anytime. Which one feels more special? Your attention works the same way. When you make it scarce, people value it more. Now, before you think this is about playing games, let me clarify. This isn't about being cold or deliberately distant. It's about genuinely prioritizing your life, your goals, and your growth. The goal isn't to manipulate her into chasing you. It's to embody a lifestyle where your focus is naturally directed toward your mission. When you're busy building your empire, pursuing your passions, and mastering your craft, your time becomes inherently limited and highly desirable. Women find this incredibly attractive, not because you're ignoring them, but because your life is full of purpose. They want to be a part of something meaningful, to align themselves with a man who knows where he's going. And here's the kicker. The less you focus on her, the more she'll focus on you. So how do you apply this? Start by assessing how much time and energy you're currently devoting to her. Are you dropping everything the moment she texts? Are you constantly checking her social media or trying to find excuses to talk? If so, it's time to recalibrate. Shift your focus back to your own path. Pick up that project you've been putting off. Hit the gym. Dive into a new skill or hobby. When you're busy living your best life, your attention naturally becomes more valuable. And here's where the magic happens. When you do give her your attention, when you genuinely listen, engage, and connect, it'll feel special. She'll know that your time isn't given lightly, and that makes her cherish it all the more. You're no longer just another guy vying for her focus. You're the man whose attention feels like a rare and precious gift. But remember, this shift has to come from a place of authenticity. You're not withholding your attention as a tactic. You're simply prioritizing your life in a way that aligns with your goals and values, as Marcus Aurelius, a master of. Now I want to hear from you. Have you been giving your attention away too freely? What changes can you make today to start valuing your time more? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this resonates with you, don't forget to like the video. Your engagement helps us grow this community of men dedicated to living with purpose, confidence, and authenticity. Let's keep building together. 3. Stop seeking validation. Let's paint a picture. You're on a date and everything seems to be going well. But deep down, there's a nagging voice in your head asking, does she like me? Am I saying the right things? Does she think I'm good enough? You find yourself hanging on to her reactions, scanning her every move for clues. Sound familiar? This, my friend, is the validation trap, and it's one of the quickest ways to undermine your value. Seeking validation isn't just a habit, it's a mindset. It places your sense of worth in someone else's hands, making you dependent on their approval to feel good about yourself. And here's the harsh reality. The more you seek her validation, the less likely you are to get it. Why? Because it signals neediness and insecurity, two traits that can quickly erode attraction. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been drawn to someone who seemed completely at ease with themselves, who didn't seek constant reassurance? Their confidence was magnetic, right? That's because true confidence comes from within, not from external praise. As Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If your thoughts are constantly fixated on how others perceive you, you'll never tap into your true potential. When you stop seeking validation, something incredible happens. you start to operate from a place of self-assurance. Your actions, words, and decisions come from your own values and desires, not from a desperate need to be liked. This shift is powerful. It shows that you're a man who knows his worth, and that's deeply attractive. So how do you break free from the validation trap? The first step is awareness. Catch yourself in those moments when you're fishing for approval. Maybe it's a subtle comment designed to elicit a compliment or a social media post aimed at getting likes. Ask yourself, am I doing this because it aligns with my values, or am I looking for someone else to validate me? Once you're aware of these behaviors, it's just time to redirect your focus. Instead of seeking external approval, start building internal confidence. This could mean setting personal goals and achieving them, cultivating new skills, or simply taking time to reflect on your strengths. The more you invest in yourself, the less you'll feel the need to seek validation from others. Another crucial aspect is embracing vulnerability without making it a crutch. Being open and honest about your feelings is important, but it shouldn't come from a place of seeking comfort or approval. Instead, share your thoughts and emotions because they're an authentic part of who you are, not because you're hoping for a specific reaction. Here's a thought experiment for you. Imagine a version of yourself who never seeks validation. How would that man carry himself? How would he approach conversations, challenges, and relationships? Picture that version of you and start embodying him today. Women in particular are drawn to men who exude this kind of self-assurance. When you're not constantly looking for their approval, it signals that you're confident in your own skin. It shows that you value your opinions and decisions, and you're not afraid to stand by them. This level of independence is not only attractive, it's transformative. Remember, seeking validation is a sign that you've placed too much power in the hands of others. Take that power back. Live your life according to your own standards and watch as the world begins to respond differently. When you stop chasing approval, you'll find that respect, admiration, and even love start to flow naturally toward you. 4. Be ready to walk away. Here's a question for you. How often do you find yourself clinging to situations or people that no longer serve you? Perhaps it's a relationship where you're constantly giving, yet receiving little in return. Or maybe it's someone who disrespects your boundaries, yet you hesitate to let go. Why? Because walking away feels like losing. But what if I told you that the power to walk away is one of the most liberating and attractive traits you can cultivate? Let's get one thing clear. Walking away doesn't mean you're indifferent or uncaring. On the contrary, it shows that you value yourself enough to protect your peace and self-respect. When someone sees that you're willing to leave rather than tolerate disrespect or mediocrity, it shifts the dynamic. Suddenly, your presence is no longer a given, it's a privilege. Think about this. Have you ever noticed how people tend to value things they fear losing? It's human nature. When you demonstrate that you're not afraid to walk away, you communicate that your worth isn't tied to someone else's approval or presence. This makes you stand out as a man who commands respect. But why is this so powerful? Because it's rare. Most people stay in situations that drain them, fearing the discomfort of starting over. So they compromise their values for the illusion of security. But a man rooted in Stoicism understands that true freedom comes from detachment, from knowing when to release what no longer aligns with his purpose. Walking away requires courage. It demands that you confront your fears, fear of loneliness, fear of missing out, fear of the unknown. But here's the truth. These fears are temporary. The growth and self-respect you gain from standing firm in your values are lasting. Every time you walk away from something that doesn't honor your worth, you reinforce your sense of self. Now let's talk about how this plays out in relationships. Imagine you're with someone who consistently undermines your efforts or takes your time and attention for granted. The easy route would be to stay, to hope things change, to keep giving more in the hopes that she'll finally see your worth. But what does that accomplish? You're teaching her that your boundaries are flexible, that your self-respect is negotiable. Instead, consider this. What if you calmly expressed your concerns and if things didn't change, chose to walk away? Not in anger or as a manipulative tactic, but as an act of self-preservation. You're saying, I value myself too much to stay in a situation that doesn't serve me. This isn't just attractive, it's transformative. Women respect men who respect themselves. When you're willing to walk away, you're sending a clear message. I don't need to beg for your attention or settle for less than I deserve. I'm confident in my ability to thrive, with or without you. This level of self-assurance is magnetic because it's rooted in inner strength, not external validation. Walking away isn't just about relationships. It's a principle that applies to all areas of life, friendships, work environments, even habits that hold you back. The act of letting go creates space for new, better aligned opportunities to enter your life. It's a reminder that you're in control of your journey, not a passive participant in someone else's narrative. Here's a thought. The next time you find yourself hesitating to walk away, ask yourself, what am I really afraid of losing? And is holding on worth compromising my peace and self-worth? More often than not, you'll realize that the cost of staying outweighs the temporary discomfort of leaving. Walking away is an act of strength, not weakness. It's a declaration of your value and a commitment to your growth. Embrace it and watch how the world starts to respond to you differently. 5. Give the relationship space. Let's talk about a paradox in relationships. The harder you try to hold on, the more likely you are to push the other person away. Think about it. Have you ever clung so tightly to someone that the relationship felt suffocating? Maybe you were always the one initiating conversations, planning dates, or keeping things moving forward. At first, it might have seemed like you were building a strong connection, but over time it felt one-sided. Here's the truth. Attraction thrives in space. When you give her room to breathe, reflect, and miss your presence, you create a dynamic where both of you can contribute equally. Space isn't about neglect or disinterest, it's about balance. It allows the relationship to grow organically without forcing it. Imagine watering a plant. Too much water drowns it, too little dries it out. The same applies to relationships. If you're constantly in her space, checking in, or seeking reassurance, you're not giving her the opportunity to meet you halfway. But when you step back, you allow her to take initiative, to show her interest in her own way, and to invest in the connection. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt more drawn to someone after they've been away for a while? That's the power of space. It creates a natural tension, a longing that strengthens the bond. When you're always available, there's no time for anticipation or reflection. But when you give her space, you give her the chance to realize how much she values your presence. This might feel counterintuitive, especially in a culture that glorifies instant communication and constant connectivity. But let me remind you of a timeless principle rooted in Stoicism. Here's how to apply this. The next time you feel the urge to text her immediately or plan another date, because the silence feels uncomfortable, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I genuinely want to connect, or am I trying to fill a void or seek reassurance? If it's the latter, resist the urge. Focus on your own life, your goals, and your passions. Trust that if the connection is real, she'll come toward you in her own time. And when she does, that moment will be all the more meaningful because it wasn't forced. It was a genuine expression of her desire to be with you. You're no longer chasing, you're attracting. This shift not only strengthens your dynamic, but also deepens her respect and admiration for you. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever seen the power of giving space in your own relationships? How did it change the dynamic? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if this resonates with you, don't forget to like the video. Your engagement helps us continue sharing insights that empower men to build stronger, more fulfilling connections. Let's keep this conversation going and grow together. 6. Demonstrate leadership and decisiveness. Here's a scenario. You're on a date, and when it comes time to decide where to go or what to do next, you turn to her and ask, what do you want to do? On the surface, it might seem considerate, a way to ensure she's happy with the plan. But in reality, you've just handed over the reins, and not in a good way. Women are naturally drawn to men who exude confidence and direction. Leadership in this context isn't about control, it's about decisiveness and vision. When you take charge, whether it's choosing a restaurant, planning an activity, or simply guiding the conversation, you communicate that you're confident in your ability to lead. This doesn't mean you disregard her preferences. It means you're proactive in creating experiences that both of you can enjoy. Let me ask you this. How do you think she feels when you're indecisive? It places the burden of decision-making on her, potentially leading to frustration or a sense that you lack direction. On the other hand, when you take the initiative, it shows her that you're someone she can rely on, someone who's not afraid to take the lead while still valuing her input. Imagine this. You've planned an evening out. You tell her, "I've made reservations at this great little spot downtown. I think you'll love it." Notice how this approach combines decisiveness with thoughtfulness. You're showing that you've put effort into creating a memorable experience, and you're confident enough to take the lead. This kind of initiative is incredibly appealing because it removes the pressure from her while highlighting your leadership qualities. Leadership also extends beyond simple logistics. It's about guiding the emotional tone of the relationship. When challenges arise, a decisive man remains calm and composed, steering the situation with clarity and purpose. This is where Stoicism. Here's a key insight. Being decisive doesn't mean you have to get everything right all the time. It's not about perfection, it's about confidence in your decisions and the willingness to stand by them. Even if things don't go as planned, your ability to adapt and handle the situation with grace is what sets you apart. The women admire men who can make decisions and take responsibility for them, regardless of the outcome. This principle applies in both small and significant ways. From choosing a movie to making long-term plans, your ability to lead with confidence will consistently reinforce your value in her eyes. Leadership isn't about dominating or dictating. It's about providing direction and clarity, creating a dynamic where both partners feel supported and aligned. In essence, demonstrating leadership and decisiveness is about embodying the qualities of a man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to go after it. That when you consistently take the lead with confidence and thoughtfulness, you build a foundation of mutual respect and admiration, creating a relationship dynamic that both of you will cherish. 7. Maintain a sense of mystery. Let's face it, in the age of social media and constant connectivity, mystery is a dying art. That we're so accustomed to sharing every detail of our lives that we often forget the power of the unknown. But here's the thing, mystery is one of the most potent tools of attraction. It's what keeps her intrigued, leaning in, wanting to know more. When you reveal everything too soon, you rob her of the excitement that comes from discovering who you are over time. Now think about the last time you watched a suspenseful movie. The allure wasn't just in what you knew, but in what you didn't. The unanswered questions, the subtle hints, the moments that left you guessing, all of it kept you on the edge of your seat. Now imagine bringing that same dynamic into your interactions with her. By maintaining a sense of mystery, you create an emotional tension that draws her in and keeps her invested. Here's a question for you. How much are you sharing about yourself up front? Are you laying all your cards on the table, hoping that complete transparency will win her over? If so, you're missing out on the opportunity to build intrigue. Women are naturally curious. They enjoy peeling back the layers, discovering what lies beneath the surface. When you leave a little to the imagination, you give her a reason to keep exploring. But don't mistake mystery for being aloof or evasive. This isn't about playing hard to get or withholding important parts of your life. It's about pacing your disclosures, sharing just enough to pique her interest without overwhelming her. For example, instead of immediately diving into every detail of your past or your future plans, offer glimpses. Let her ask questions. Let her work a little to uncover who you truly are. Here's another tip. Be mindful of your digital presence. If your social media profiles give away every aspect of your life, you're removing one of the most effective tools in your arsenal. Try posting less frequently or keeping some aspects of your life private. When she can't piece together everything about you with a few clicks, she'll naturally become more curious. Maintaining a sense of mystery also extends to your emotions. You don't need to constantly articulate how much you like her or how deeply you're invested. Let your actions speak louder than your words. The moments you choose to express your feelings will carry far more weight when they're rare and meaningful, rather than constant and expected. It keeps her guessing, wondering where she stands, which heightens the emotional connection. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The same applies here. How you choose to present yourself, the balance between what you reveal and what you keep to yourself, can significantly impact the dynamic between you two. By embracing this Stoic principle, you can master the art of attraction without losing authenticity. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found that maintaining a sense of mystery changed the way someone interacted with you? Share your experiences in the comments below. And if you found value in these insights, don't forget to like the video. Let's continue exploring how small shifts in our behavior can lead to profound changes in our relationships. Together, we're building a community of men who live with purpose, confidence, and an unwavering sense of self. 8. Control your emotional expressions. Let's end with one of the most overlooked yet crucial aspects of attraction: controlling your emotional expressions. In a world where we're often encouraged to wear our hearts on our sleeves, it might seem counterintuitive to hold back. But here's the reality. Overexpressing your emotions too soon or too frequently can dilute their impact and shift the balance of power in a relationship. Have you ever met someone who revealed their deepest feelings on the first date? While it might come across as genuine, it often overwhelms the other person. Why? Because emotional intimacy needs time to build. When you rush into sharing everything, it can feel forced or worse, needy. Women appreciate emotional connection, but it's the pace and depth that matter. Let's delve into why this is so important. When you reveal too much too soon, you remove the sense of anticipation and discovery. It's not about being a closed book. It's about letting her turn the pages at a natural pace. This builds a stronger connection because each moment of vulnerability feels earned, not given freely. Now, think about the power of timing. Imagine you've been seeing someone for a while and things are going well. Instead of constantly vocalizing how much you care, you choose your moments wisely. Maybe it's after a meaningful shared experience or when she's opened up about something personal. In those moments, a simple, heartfelt expression carries immense weight. It's sincere, impactful, and memorable. This principle doesn't just apply to romantic feelings. Even your reactions to everyday situations can influence how she perceives you. Are you quick to anger or frustration? Do you over-celebrate minor wins? Stoic men understand the value of measured reactions. They practice emotional control, not to suppress their feelings, but to express them in ways that reflect maturity and thoughtfulness. Teachings of Stoicism emphasize this balance beautifully. Marcus Aurelius often spoke of the importance of mastering one's impulses and maintaining composure. Emotional self-regulation isn't about being cold or detached. It's about channeling your emotions in ways that serve your higher purpose and strengthen your relationships. Here's a practical tip. The next time you feel the urge to share something deeply emotional, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, is this the right time? Have we built the level of trust and connection that warrants this level of openness? By practicing restraint, you not only protect your emotional well-being but also foster a relationship dynamic built on mutual respect and gradual growth. This approach doesn't just make your emotional expressions more powerful, it makes them more authentic. I shall come to appreciate the thought and care behind your words and actions, knowing that when you do open up, it's genuine and deeply felt. Emotional control is a cornerstone of a strong, balanced connection, and mastering it will elevate both your relationship and your personal growth. As we wrap up this journey through the 7 acts that make women fall madly in love with you, it's clear that true attraction is not about tricks, games, or superficial charm. It's about embodying the principles of inner strength, emotional control, and purposeful living. So by integrating the wisdom of Stoicism, think about what we've covered: cultivating emotional independence, valuing your attention, avoiding the trap of seeking validation, and being ready to walk away when necessary. You've learned the importance of giving space, demonstrating leadership, maintaining a sense of mystery, and mastering your emotional expressions. Each act is a stepping stone toward becoming the best version of yourself, not just for her but for you. Here's the truth. When you focus on your own growth and align your actions with these timeless principles, you naturally create an aura of confidence and magnetism. Women are drawn to men who are grounded, self-assured, and unapologetically authentic. You don't need to chase or convince, you attract by simply being the man you were meant to be. Now it's time to take action. Reflect on the principles we've discussed and ask yourself, which of these areas could use the tension in your life? What steps can you take today to start embodying these qualities? Remember, transformation doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent effort and self-awareness, you'll notice profound changes in how people, especially women, respond to you. Finally, I want to thank you for joining this conversation and taking the time to invest in your personal growth. If these insights resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's the one act from this list that you're most excited to implement? Share your journey with us, and let's continue building a community of high-value men who live with purpose and integrity. Remember, you're not just learning how to attract others, you're mastering the art of living. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and keep striving for greatness. Until next time, embrace the journey and watch as the world aligns with the man you're becoming.